Welcome back, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Josh Taylor, Tim Benz, taking your calls, answering your questions. Let's go to Lori in Avalon. Lori, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I was calling to ask you about the offensive line. The last guy that was on talked a lot about some deterioration in the players. I know Tuitt's out, but I wanted to get your opinion on that. And while I was on hold, I wanted to ask whatever happened with that video on the sideline for the Patriots, and what was the consequence of that?
They looked at the video and they realized how bad the Bengals were, and they're going to disband the Bengals. I think that's the only absence, or the only option for them to go to. The offensive line, again, it's interesting to hear so many people going to that card. I think if you look at left guard, there's a replacement plan there with B.J. Finney.
Yes.
And maybe they should have done that already.
Possibly.
They think Matt Filer's pretty good at right tackle. You can get by with worse than Matt Filer at right tackle, and I still think DeCastro's good. The questions become at left tackle and at center with Marquise Pouncey and Al Villanueva. Al Villanueva back to the form that he was last year, and how much does Pouncey have left? What's the extent of this knee injury? But, you know, this is supposed to be a constant, Josh. The offensive line was supposed to be the better offensive line more days than not, and it hasn't been. You know,
it's supposed to be a building block for this.
I was hoping to see the Steelers' defensive front dominate the Bills and the Jets' offensive lines more than it did, and I did not anticipate, at least in the Jets game, the pass protection issues being what they were against the Jets. I knew they'd struggle against the run. A lot of this might have to do with Mike Munchak's absence, or maybe the line kind of just got old at once. But I knew they were going to have to start to phase in some replacement guys for the offensive line, but it feels like it all has to happen at once, and there's too many other areas to look at this offseason with very limited draft picks, too.
I'll add another layer to that as far as the offensive line, as far as the confusion maybe, as far as picking up the guys in the alignments that we saw. This also speaks to maybe not having Ben Roethlisberger, because we know he calls a lot the protections as well. So
it gets rid of the ball faster.
He's able to get rid of the ball faster too.
It can see over the line.
Exactly. So he's able to adjust a little bit more on the fly when he sees those things.
Maybe the receivers aren't getting open as quickly.
That probably says a lot too. I think those are all good reasons as to why things may be a little bit different. And we talk about how you miss a guy like that in the things that he can do, not just throwing a football, but the things that he can do pre-snap that make it a little bit easier for you.
Right, and you're not going to get that with a rookie from Sanford and a second-year player who had never played an NFL game before this year.
Can't agree with that more. In the meantime, that is it for us. Thanks for your phone calls. Thanks for your tweets. As I often say, it's you guys that make this show great. Thanks again to Tim Benz. You're going to see him on Mondays a lot more often here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Josh Taylor. Make the switch to KDKA. We got a lot to talk about at 11. In the meantime, see you here tomorrow night.